Hi, I'm Andrew Eaton, and I'm completing a thesis as part of my Master of Social Work at the Factor Inwintosh Faculty of Social Work at the University of Toronto. The research question that my thesis will address is, what is the role of social work in supporting people affected by HIV-Associated Neurocognitive Disorder, or HAND? Through my frontline experience working at ACT, the AIDS Committee of Toronto, I have worked with many older adults living with HIV who are concerned about their cognitive health as they age. In Toronto, there are medical practitioners who can screen, diagnose, and treat people affected by HAND. However, there are as yet few social work interventions specifically focused on people living with HIV who may be experiencing memory challenges or who may have anxiety about their cognitive health as they age. From an academic perspective, I have yet to find a study, article, or other piece of literature that focused on the role of social work in supporting people affected by HAND. There's a lot of research available for people facing cognitive challenges generally, in particular dementia, and an emerging literature base about the current diagnostics and medical treatment options for HAND. I hope that my research project will bridge these two areas of research literature to help social workers think about how services could best be provided in this area. For my research project, I've recruited a research team that brings together representatives from the AIDS Committee of Toronto, the Factor Inwintosh Faculty of Social Work, and 5 people living with HIV. It's important to me that the research process is collaborative and participatory, and that all members of the research team can contribute equitably. The meaningful involvement of people living with HIV, or MIPA, is a principle that I consider of the highest priority in all of my work, and certainly in the context of research for people living with HIV. We will be conducting a survey of older adults, aged over 50, who are living with HIV in Toronto to get a sense of the community's knowledge of social work and of HAND, and to ask some preliminary questions about how social work can support them in concerns about cognitive health. These questions will discuss logistical concerns to make services physically accessible, and theoretical concerns based off the social determinants of health to make services culturally relevant and emotionally accessible. Following the survey, we will be conducting qualitative interviews with this population group to gather data on lived experience and get into detail about social work's role in supporting people affected by HAND. These qualitative interviews will provide in-depth insight into how the research participants would like social work to tailor services to meet their needs. Both the survey and the qualitative interviews will be available in English and French. I hope that this research project will start a literature base on this subject, and that it will provide a starting point for social workers in community-based organizations, hospitals and clinics, and in private practice to start thinking about this issue and to determine which interventions might be most beneficial to this population group. Thank you for listening.